The Crooked Anchor and the heat between men. It was an unusually warm afternoon at the Crooked Anchor, the kind of warm that made you suspicious, like the sun knew something you didn't. David was busy reorganizing the crisp shelf, trying to remember if salt and vinegar should go next to cheese and onion, or if that somehow breached pub protocol. Suddenly the pub door creaked open, and in he walked a big bloke, towering, broad as a wardrobe. Bearded like a lost lumberjack king, his voice when it emerged was so deep and guttural it didn't register on normal frequencies. It was more felt than heard, like the bass of a nearby earthquake. "Muvunk nos crisps," he rumbled. David blinked. "Vodka and Coke and a packet of square crisps? Coming right up, sir." The man gave a small nod, the kind of nod that might shatter a bookshelf. Then, crisps and pint in hand, he lumbered to a booth that no one had ever sat in. It was one of those booths people just knew not to sit in, as if cursed by ancient pub spirits or the ghost of a spilt pint. The man sat, opened his crisps, and began staring directly at David. Not blinking, not chewing quickly, just munching and staring. David tried not to notice. He looked at the clock, the dartboard, the ceiling, the ancient plaque that read, "Please don't feed the fire," even though the fire had been a cardboard cutout for 6 months now. Pete, meanwhile, was in full darts mode. He kept landing double 19s, every single throw, not even trying, just thunk, 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 double 19, again and again. "Must be a sign," Pete murmured in a rare moment of self-awareness. Over in the kitchen, Clifford was solemnly instructing Warren in the fine art of toast maintenance. "Spread gently," Clifford said, with the grace of a swan writing a love letter. Warren was holding the butter knife like it might explode. At the centre of the room, Gunther, Brian's temporary Great Dane, was spinning. No one knew why. No one could stop him. The dog was a blur, like a hairy tornado of confusion and occasional drool. Brian had simply placed a small traffic cone next to him and declared him cordoned off. David returned to the bar, tried to pretend he wasn't being watched, but the big man's eyes burned into him like twin microwave lasers. Finally, after crunching his final square crisp, the man stood, approached the bar, and said in a low, tectonic rumble, "I can feel some heat between you and me." David froze, pint cloth in hand. What kind of heat? The man leaned in ever so slightly, eyes narrowing, beard trembling with mystic gravity. "I think you know the kind of heat I'm talking about." And then, as if that settled everything, he turned and walked out of the pub, through the door, across the road, into a field, and just kept going. No one spoke for a full minute. Pete hit another double 19. Clifford applauded Warren for successfully spreading butter without catastrophic loss. Gunther slowed, staggered, then resumed spinning in the opposite direction. David wiped his brow and muttered to himself, "That's a kind of heat I'm not qualified to manage." Just another day at the Crooked Anchor, where the crisps are square, the conversations are cryptic, and sometimes the field calls a man away with unfinished tension and no answers.